Everyone wants their car to run stronger, respond faster, and sound cooler. And it's true. There are ways to achieve that. But some of those ways aren't legal. Many car owners quietly modify their vehicles to boost power, ignoring emissions laws, noise regulations, or technical risks. The interesting thing is, many of these mods can actually work if you understand the mechanics and know the limits. In this video, we'll explore 5 car modifications that can make your car feel more powerful, but could also lead to fines, engine damage, or avoided warranty if done wrong. Like this video to save it to your favorites. 5. Installing a cold air intake incorrectly. A cold air intake sounds exciting. Slap on a shiny pipe, swap in a bigger air filter, and imagine your car suddenly feeling more powerful with a throatier engine sound. In reality, it can boost power slightly, but only if installed correctly. Most issues come from buying cheap parts, sloppy installation, or placing the intake in the wrong spot. And when that happens, your so-called upgrade quickly becomes an expensive headache. The most common problem is sucking in hot air from the engine bay. Many cheap cold air intakes don't pull cool air from the front or wheel well. Instead, they draw air from inside the engine bay, where temperatures can hit 140, 170 degree Celsius. Hot air is less dense, with less oxygen, so power drops instead of increasing, a problem called heat soak. In short, if your intake lacks a heat shield or a snorkel to channel cold air, you're wasting money and might even make your car weaker. Another, more serious risk is water ingestion. Many kits place the air filter too low in the wheel, well, or just below the fender. A heavy rain, a flooded road, or even a shallow puddle can send water into the combustion chamber, causing hydrolock. This can bend connecting rods, break the crankshaft, and cost you a fortune to fix. You don't want your car sidelined because of a cheap filter. Next up is the MAF, Mass Airflow, sensor. Changing the intake pipe, filter size, or MF position without recalibrating the ECU can mess up the air-fuel ratio, AFR. The result? A check engine light, sluggish acceleration, rough running, or worse fuel economy. Some people remove the MAF or tape it up, then complain about poor performance. The root cause is often a lack of software tuning. Then there's the issue of warranties and emissions tests. Modifying the intake can void your warranty with some manufacturers, and in some areas, it can complicate emissions inspections. Don't forget, real performance comes from a balanced system. The intake is just one piece. If you install a bigger filter but don't tune the ECU or upgrade the exhaust, spark plugs, or injectors, you won't get the power boost you expect. So, how do you upgrade safely? Choose a reputable cold air intake with a sealed design, a heat shield, and a snorkel that pulls air from the front. Position the filter high to avoid water splash. Keep the MAF in its proper place or use a correct MAF adapter kit. If you significantly change airflow, take your car to a dyno for ECU tuning. Regularly clean the filter, washing and re-oiling for cloth filters to avoid fouling the AF. 4. Removing or replacing the muffler. One of the most common car mods you'll see on the road is removing or replacing the muffler, the part that quiets the exhaust. Many believe that ditching the heavy muffler at the end of the exhaust will make the car more powerful, free up the engine, and give it a deep, aggressive exhaust note. It sounds right. Removing a restriction lets exhaust gases escape faster so the engine breathes easier. But in reality, the benefits are small, while the risks to performance, noise levels, and legal issues are much bigger. The muffler's main job is to reduce the noise of exhaust gases as they exit. When the engine burns fuel, thousands of tiny explosions happen every minute in the cylinders, creating powerful sound waves. Mufflers use chambers and baffles to dampen these vibrations, making the exhaust quieter. When you remove the muffler, those sounds escape directly, resulting in a loud, harsh exhaust note that's often many times noisier. In the US, each state has noise regulations. For example, California allows up to 95 dB, while New York caps it at 15 dB. Exceed those limits, and you could face fines or be forced to reinstall a muffler. Beyond noise, removing the muffler affects the exhaust system and sensors. When gases exit too quickly, the oxygen sensor, O2 sensor, may misread data, causing the ECU to miscalculate fuel delivery. This can lead to sluggish acceleration, worse fuel economy, or a check engine light. More seriously, faster exhaust flow can prevent the catalytic converter from storing enough oxygen to burn harmful gases, causing your car to fail federal emissions standards. A small change at the exhaust tip can trigger issues throughout the entire system. Another overlooked issue is backfire, the pop-pop sound from the exhaust when you let off the gas. If the car isn't tuned for the new exhaust flow, unburned fuel can ignite in the exhaust pipe, causing backfire. It might sound cool, but it's a sign of incomplete combustion, which can damage spark plugs, sensors, and the exhaust over time. Turbocharged or supercharged engines are especially prone to this if the air-fuel ratio is off. Some claim mufflers create back pressure and removing them boosts power. In reality, four-stroke engines don't need back pressure. They need a balance between intake and exhaust. A quality muffler is designed to reduce noise while maintaining steady flow. But if you remove it or swap it for a straight pipe, you can disrupt that balance, reducing power instead of increasing it. It's also worth noting that removing the muffler can void your warranty, especially for exhaust or sensor-related issues. In many states, a car that fails noise or emissions tests can be banned from the road until fixed. If you have real-world experience, share it below. 3. Removing the catalytic converter. The catalytic converter, or exhaust catalyst, is one of the most critical parts of the exhaust system. It filters exhaust gases before they reach the environment, burning off uncombusted fuel to reduce harmful emissions. But for many car enthusiasts, it's seen as a restriction that makes the car sluggish. So, they remove the catalytic converter, hoping for faster exhaust flow, more power, and a louder exhaust note. It sounds logical, but in reality, this is one of the most dangerous and costly mods you can make. First, let's understand how the catalytic converter works. Inside is a ceramic honeycomb core coated with precious metals like platinum, palladium, and rhodium. As exhaust gases pass through, these metals act as catalysts, converting carbon monoxide, hydrocarbons, and nitrogen oxides, the three most harmful gases, into CO2, water, and nitrogen. In other words, it doesn't weaken the engine. It just cleans the exhaust before it's released. When you remove the catalytic converter, exhaust gases do flow slightly faster, but the actual power gain is almost negligible. Modern engines are designed to work in harmony with an exhaust system that includes a catalytic converter. Without it, the oxygen sensors before and after the converter get incorrect data, causing the ECU to misjudge the air-fuel mixture. This can lead to improper fuel delivery, reduced power, higher fuel consumption, and a constant check engine light. More seriously, removing the catalytic converter can lead to hefty fines. In the U.S., federal EPA regulations require all vehicles on public roads to keep their emissions control systems intact. Fines can reach thousands of dollars per vehicle, and shops that remove converters can face even steeper penalties. In many states, a car without a catalytic converter can't pass emissions tests, meaning it won't be registered or insured. Another big issue: removing the converter makes the car louder and smellier. Unburned hydrocarbons escape directly, creating a strong, unpleasant odor. In some cases, if fuel doesn't burn completely, the hotter exhaust gases can damage the exhaust system or nearby plastic components. Some people think it's fine to remove the converter because my car is old. That's a dangerous misconception. The converter also helps balance exhaust pressure. Removing it disrupts airflow, which can throw off the intake exhaust balance in the combustion chamber, causing hesitation, jerking, or backfire. The popping sound from the exhaust. Instead of more power, the car may run weaker and vibrate more. If your catalytic converter is clogged or degraded, The right solution is to inspect and replace it with an OEM or EPA-approved unit, not remove it entirely. In mild cases, you can clean the converter with a specialized solution or remove it for soaking and drying to partially restore its flow. 2. Installing a nitrous oxide system. When it comes to modding for power, few things sound as thrilling as nitrous oxide or nitro. In movies, you hit a button and the car rockets forward with blue smoke and a screaming engine. In reality, nitrous can make your car significantly more powerful. But if you don't know how to use it, you could destroy your engine in seconds. Nitrous oxide is an oxidizing gas. When injected into the combustion chamber, it releases extra oxygen, allowing the engine to burn more fuel. The result is a sudden power boost, ranging from a few dozen to hundreds of horsepower, depending on the system and setup. But this explosive power makes nitrous a double-edged sword. Powerful, yet dangerous. First, understand this. Every engine has a design tolerance limit. When you add nitrous, you're pushing it far beyond that limit. If the fuel system can't keep up or the ignition timing isn't adjusted, the nitrous fuel mixture burns too fast, creating extreme heat and pressure in the cylinders. This can cause engine knock, bent connecting rods, broken pistons, or even a cracked cylinder head. Many people try nitrous once, and it's the last time they see their car in one piece. Legally, nitrous is restricted in many places. Some regions, like New South Wales and Australia, completely ban nitrous systems for street cars. In the US, some states allow installation, but prohibit opening the valve on public roads. For example, in South Carolina, you can have the system, but if police catch you with the valve open, you'll get fined. Other states, like Nebraska, permit nitrous use, but if you're caught speeding, expect an extra hefty fine. Nitrous systems come in two main types, dry and wet. A dry system injects only nitrous, relying on the ECU to add extra fuel. A wet system injects both nitrous and fuel, allowing for bigger power gains. Either way, for safe operation, you need to retune the ECU, use colder spark plugs, and upgrade the fuel pump and injectors. Without these, uncontrolled combustion can overheat the engine after just a few throttle presses. Another thing few mention, nitrous is only powerful for a short time. A 10-pound bottle lasts for a few nitrous shots, each lasting just seconds. When the bottle's empty, the car returns to normal, and refilling isn't cheap. So, you're spending thousands of dollars for a few seconds of fun, with the risk of destroying your engine and breaking the law. Technically, nitrous works well in controlled environments, like a racetrack or dyno test, where the car is properly tuned, fuel is optimized, and cooling and ignition systems are perfectly adjusted. But if you install it on a daily driver for occasional thrills, you're likely setting yourself up for a massive repair bill. 1. Tuning the ECU with non-official software. Tuning the ECU with non-official software is becoming a hot trend among car enthusiasts because it's easy, cheap, and sounds incredibly appealing. Just plug in a laptop, click a few times, and your car gets more powerful, revs higher, and the throttle responds faster. But behind that cheap thrill are countless technical risks that many people only realize when their car is already on a tow truck. The ECU is the brain of the engine. It controls everything from fuel injection amounts and ignition timing to air-fuel ratios and turbo boost. When you mess with it, you're changing how the entire car operates. A proper tune can boost engine power by 10 to 20%. But if even a few parameters are off, the results can be burned pistons, knocking, or total engine failure. Most problems come from free tunes downloaded online or shared in groups. Many of these files are copied from other cars and aren't suited to your engine's configuration at all. For example, a 1.5 Turbo Civic in California might need a completely different tune than the same model in Texas, due to differences in climate, fuel, sensors, and even the stock ECU software. Installing a mismatched tune is like forcing someone to wear ill-fitting clothes. It might look okay at first, but it'll tear apart eventually. Another common mistake is reflashing the ECU without retuning the air-fuel ratio, AFR. When the mixture is too lean, the engine overheats quickly, spark plugs burn black, pistons crack, or cylinder heads warp. If the mixture is too rich, you get poor fuel economy, black smoke, and the catalytic converter clogs from carbon buildup. Many think the engine feels more powerful means success, but it could actually be a sign the car is operating beyond safe limits. There are also legal and warranty risks. Most manufacturers have systems to track ECU data, so even if you reflash to stock, they can detect it through the logs. At that point, your entire powertrain warranty is voided immediately, and if something goes wrong, you're on the hook for all repair costs. On top of that, changing ignition maps, emissions ratios, or rev limits can make your car fail emissions tests, meaning it won't pass inspection and can't be registered for the road. Technically, a bad tune can even brick the ECU, completely frying the controller so the car won't start, with the check engine light flashing nonstop. Then, you're forced to replace the ECU or send it to the manufacturer for a reset, costing thousands of dollars. Some tunes even hide malware or software bugs that interfere with the ABS, traction control, or even airbag systems. Modding your car isn't bad. It's a way to express personality and passion for machines. But before you swap the muffler, remove the catalytic converter, add nitrous, or tune the ECU, remember, every change comes with a price. A little extra power might not be worth the repair bills, fines, or lost warranty. If you want a stronger car, do it right. Choose quality parts, understand the mechanics, and respect the engine's limits. True power isn't in a loud exhaust or high revs. It's in a car that runs smoothly, lasts long, and stays safe on every road. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video.